If you had told me in 2019 that my craft business would one day bring in 6 figures in a year, I would have laughed. I would have been super excited, but I also would have laughed. At the time, I had just quit a full-time job. I was doing 4 different jobs to try to make ends meet, and I was stressed. Today, my handmade business does bring in 6 figures a year, and that is mostly selling paper-based crafts and gifts. In this video, I'm going to tell you how that happened, what worked and what did not work for me, and 5 things that I think actually made the difference. And just so you know, this is not a get rich quick on Etsy story. This is just my real business story. A quick background, I graduated from college with a major in studio art with a focus on drawing, yes, drawing, and graphic design. After college, I had loads of jobs, kind of all within the art space. I taught kindergarten art at one point. I had a wedding invitation business. I was the art director of a youth theater. So I have always dabbled in the arts and have always been a very artistic person and had always wanted to start an Etsy shop. So fast forward to November of 2019, I was planning my son's 6th birthday party and I wanted to send kids home with something unique, like a craft kit of some sort. So I went on Etsy to look for something artistic and unique. And I was shocked that there were not more options. And I thought, I can make something better. And then I literally started the next week. My idea was simple: paper-based craft kits and party favors for kids. And the reason I specifically chose paper was logistical. I did not have money to spend on any kind of supplies, and paper was cheap. I even had to ask my mom to buy me my first Cricut machine. I started with personalized coloring bookmarks, stickers, craft kits, and the things that sold quickly were personalized coloring bookmarks and sun catchers. And so that is the direction that I went. And I went all in. Because I started selling sun catchers, I made variations of every different kind of sun catcher, different themes, different sizes, small ones, medium ones, big ones, literally everything for every different kind of party you could think of. And by the March of 2020, I was making around $1,000 a month, which for a new Etsy shop is really good. There were no ads, no Pinterest, literally no social media. It was all through the Etsy search. But I did have about 250 listings because, like I said, I went all in. And I had done a lot of work. I had listened to tons of podcasts and YouTube videos trying to learn about Etsy SEO and how to get your listings seen, how to take better product photos. Every day I was working on making my listings better so that they would get seen more. And then it was March of 2020. We all know what happened, and my shop blew up. In May of 2020, I had my first 5-figure month. It was bonkers. And of course, part of my business blowing up was luck because everybody was home with their kids trying to find things to do and shopping online. But part of it was all of the work that I'd put in those months previously. Partly because I was having so much fun, but partly because I knew there were other parents out there like me who were looking for something cooler for their kids. So the rest of 20 and 2021 were absolutely crazy. I net 6 figures, which was insane for a brand new business. And I made a big mistake. I did literally zero marketing, none. I did literally zero social media, none. I did zero effort beyond listing new products. I didn't have an email list. I did not have a website. I was very dependent on Etsy. And then 2020 rolled around and me and probably everyone else who sold stuff online saw a huge dip in their income. I seriously thought about getting another job because it felt so hard to try to get back to where I had been in 2021. But instead of quitting, I pivoted. I built my own website. I went all in on Pinterest and I started building traffic outside of Etsy. And in 2025, my handmade business had its best year ever and I surpassed my income that I had made in 2021. These are the 5 things that I think helped make the difference in my handmade business and why it survived and then thrived. Number 1, pivot when you need to. If something isn't selling, you have to be honest with yourself that people do not want this and try something new. I have tried a lot of things that have failed, but in pivoting, I have also found things that have done very well. Number 2, sell what people are actually searching for. Last year, I started selling foil tickets. It was something I'd always wanted to try, and I knew that foil tickets were popular on Etsy, and they are. Number 3, do not quit when it gets hard or when something isn't working. But if you go back to number 1 and you pivot, you might find something new sells like crazy, and that totally changes your business. Number 4, double down on what works. When I found an item that was selling well, I did tons of variations of them. Number 5, build things you actually own. Etsy is great, but you do not own it. And while I still spend a lot of time on Etsy because they drive so much traffic, I also started spending a lot of time on Pinterest, my email list, and my audience in general. And that's what makes this feel stable instead of scary. If Etsy closed down tomorrow, I would still have income coming in from other places. If you are just getting started, or you're stuck, or you're discouraged, please hear this. I did not have a big budget when I started. I had like no budget. I had literally no audience, zero, none. I did not go viral because I wasn't even posting on social media. I just kept going and kept working on my craft. Let me know below, what is something you're struggling with? I plan on making a lot more videos about Etsy and my experience, so follow along and I will see you next time. Bye.